Hey guys, how's it going? Rooster here. Welcome to the first part of this training series. So what we have here right now is the first 3 steps of the methodology that I'm gonna be walking you through on a live exercise, okay? Now, with this first training, you will be able to figure out how to quickly add up to $150,000 in pure profit to your brand this same year, okay? Now, I've done this many times throughout the last 6 years with brands ranging from $20 million to $150 million per year in gross revenue. And the key thing that I've learned throughout these years is that brands that scale to monstrous heights always align acquisition with retention. And that's the key principle. That's one of the key principles that you will hear me speak about, time and time again, right? So the first 3 steps of the methodology talk about that, just optimizing your company for profitability, for maximum profitability. The second part of the training is more on, okay, now we have optimized by selecting the right products. Now let's grab those products and cut your CPA significantly by generating a killer acquisition strategy for y'all. Okay, so first piece will align your acquisition with retention by uncovering your start products and therefore unlocking some extra $150,000 in pure profit this year for your brand. So let's get started on this first training. I'm super excited. Let's jump in. This is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best ways to determine your top products if your brand has already proven product market fit. So if your brand has already proven product market fit, you're probably crossing between $5 and $10 million a year, and you have scaled some sort of business system successfully, right? And you've started scaling on one product really hard. This particular method is engineered for multi-SKU brands. So if you're a single SKU brand, this is not going to be really relevant because you already know your product. So you can just simply skip to step 4, 5, and 6, which is create a strategy, just developing that on a repeatable, systematic, very scalable basis. But if you're a multi-SKU brand, this is going to be really juicy for you. So what do we need to do first? So great retention starts with great acquisition. And great acquisition doesn't only mean cutting back on CPAs. You really want for people to experience the best version of your brand on the first sale, and then you prime the relationship for just better growth, right? So that's the first thing we want to do. We want to add at least an additional 50 to 100K to your bottom line with this exercise. The second thing we want to do is, of course, cut back hard on that CPA, right? Because that's the only thing because if it's that and it's inventory that's keeping you from scaling. So if you've got the inventory piece figured out, then we really need to cut back on your CPA. And that's where creative strategy comes in and a whole other things. But another thing that really comes handy in that equation is cash flow, right? Because if you can get more cash flow from your same marketing efforts, then that just means that you're going to be in a better position to outmarket. You basically don't need to cut back on your CPA. You can pay more for things, and then you can outmarket competition. So there are a couple of nice things that unlock with better cash flow. So this thing is the start to really figuring out those 2 things. So let's just get started. The first thing that we really want to do, and this is your top 5 best-selling items, right? So you're going to pull the following data from Shopify. So you're going to pull orders, order share. So this is a formula. I'm going to give you this template for you guys to use and just inject these. So you're going to inject your orders, your net revenue, your unit price. So this is what you're selling the item for, your COGS for each product, and your 360 LTV. The way that I like to pull this is via lifetime lead, triple whale, or Northbeam, or just the Shopify cohort. I pulled it from Shopify cohorts. I really love how they structure that piece. So you can simply pull that. And the way you pull it is just do by first item purchased, and you will get that. So that's the first thing. And then you're going to map out these 5 KPIs, but for the entire business, right? So you're going to map out the total amount of orders, CVR, AOV, lifetime value for last year, and the last 12 months of revenue, right? So now all that we have to do now is compare and see. So if we look at this, you're gonna, okay, so I'm just spoiling you the surprise in your head. So if we look at this exercise, you will see that the highest grossing product is this dress, right? So it's this SKU. Now, what we can see here is that even though it brings the majority, the highest amount of revenue, and this is kind of like the obvious, it's kind of like dictating the pace for LTV. So there's really no delta of, if a person buys this dress today, they'll consume 456 in a year, and that's almost the same as, just there's a 1% delta versus the total business. What does this tell us? This tells us that I'm not going to get any additional profit by prioritizing this on paid social acquisition. So what I really want to do is, can we identify other products that sell well, that bring me more money within a year? So that's what I really want to do. And that's where you're going to start scaling more, because you're going to scale horizontally in different product lines, and you're going to scale, let's say vertically, because you're going to have more cash in hand, right? Because you're prioritizing more profitable products, but it's not immediate profit. It's because for this brand, COGS, believe it or not, are basically the same. It's a very minimal difference here. So I just rounded that up, also for showing purposes, of course, but this is very close to reality. But there are some significant differences for other products on the lifetime value piece. So take the third one here, for example. These are some jeans. Now, these jeans, they have sold a third of the revenue versus the top dress. But look at lifetime value. Lifetime value is 531. That's 17% extra versus the 2023 lifetime value average for the overall store. So that means that in theory, if we prioritize these jeans, which I love prioritizing jeans, I'll tell you why. This is because it's, everyone knows their size of jeans, and they're probably easier to fit versus cardigans, versus tees, crop tops, or even dresses, right? In some cases. The other thing is that figuring jeans out is, I think, in terms of creative, is, I think, a little bit easier, quote unquote, than dresses or other things, because jeans, basically, you have 4 shots, that you really use to push the product, and it really helps your life out. So, and they're evergreen. Like, people wear jeans all year round, and that's one of the key things that we really want to, right? This is like agnostic to seasonality. So these jeans, 70% more lifetime value. So all you have to do is copy and paste these here, right? Once you copy and paste these into your champion products, you're gonna start seeing some really cool stuff, right? So say that this client, they want to spend somewhere around $15,000, and the reason why is that they're an organic product drop business that has managed to gross 5 million almost the last 360. So they are just filling out paid social, but they really want to start honing in, right? Like, okay, what are the products that I should be really pushing to amplify my business model, and filling in the gaps? Because as you guys know, product drop businesses have 2 weaknesses, right? Like, number one, if you're doing it organic, so thing number one, it's slow to grow that, and it's a bit painful. So you will really have to have like a really key influencer or many key influencers, and that's just, it can be a bit hectic. And so you've got that piece. And number 2, basically, when you're not dropping product, you're almost not selling stuff, and people hone in on 3 to 5 pieces, and then the rest just is left hanging, right? So this model, just injecting paid social for such a business, it fills in 2 gaps, right? So number 1, it amplifies growth for anticipating product drops. So that is amplified, and that is growing faster, which is a proven growth engine. And number 2, it's supplementing in the in-betweens, with new, it helps them liquidate product, right? So that's super interesting for them, for this kind of business as well. So as I mentioned, 15,000. right? That means that per year they want to invest 180,000. So what would happen if I would grab the top grossing one as one of my champions, and then I would grab the highest LTV product here, the two highest LTV products here. So let's say it's the jeans and the cardigan, right? So what would happen if I were to spend 50% of my total yearly paid social budget here and break even? Same thing with the dress and the cardigan, right? Well, doing some quick numbers, we can quickly see that, So, and the only thing we're doing here is we're dividing, budget divided by CPA target for breaking even for these. And we are then multiplying that by the lifetime value, right? By the lifetime value delta. So what you can see here is figuring out if I were to grab 12 months, the next year of paid social budget, and inject it, say, 50% on the top lifetime value product, and then let's just say 25% of our budget in our top grossing product and the other top LTV product, what would happen to my profit, right? So basically, this is just total yearly budget, and then I'm just grabbing this and dividing it by my break-even CPA. So if you have a growth mindset or whatever, like CPA is the least that you can do at this stage in time. Most of you guys will be doing, obviously not breaking even. You're gonna be, obviously you need to grow if you're bootstrapped on, at least a little bit, but for the sake of this, just being conservative, we're doing break-even CPA. So if I achieve to spend this money at a break-even CPA, I will be generating an additional $111,000 in new profit in the next year. Same thing for these, right? And this is the delta. This isn't just top thing. No, this is extra profit that you guys are going to be generating simply by aligning, as I said, acquisition with retention. You're still pushing your top selling product, right? And this might maybe look, because maybe this one pays the bills, right? This might look, this might actually look like this, maybe. Maybe we shift that strategy a little bit. You're still adding 100K because we just figured out that dress is selling like crazy. But this is, how I would align it. Like, let's just push half of the budget, maybe on the top grossing product. And let's just focus half of the budget on the top LTV product and try and make the other two work, right? So as you can see, this is a quote unquote simple way of just getting an idea of the potential of starting to focus not only on reducing CAC, but on increasing profitability for your brand via lifetime value and mindful product selection, right? So again, I think this is honestly something that is going to work for this brand, and I'm going to push for this client. I'm going to push this for this client, and I'll be very glad to tell them within a year, like, yeah, we generated an additional 150K for y'all. You can go and take a nice vacay and just stash some of that money on the good old bank account, guys. This is how you align your retention engine with your acquisition to generate an additional $100,000 in profit in 360 days. So now that we have our product selection for the next round, for getting started on this new system for you guys, which we have proven since day one, it's going to be more profitable than whatever you're doing if you have never done LTV cohort analysis for your brand. Now we have our selection of of the top three options that we want to push as acquisition, start products. Okay? So now that we've selected these, we're going to go to the creative strategy piece to start analyzing these three products. We're going to start doing some due diligence. We're going to start researching a bit, and we're going to craft an emotions-based creative strategy that's going to sell really well for them, and that's going to help us achieve our CAC targets and even cut back on them a little bit. So see you on the next training. I hope it's helpful. Leave me some comments here, please, if you thought this was great. And See you on the next one.